What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another My Team episode. It is episode number 15, the penultimate race in Vegas. So 2 more races to go. We're still fighting for a potential P7 in the championship. We're trying to confirm that P8 away from Alfa Romeo, Williams, and AlphaTauri, but we could still leapfrog Haas. We need 4 points to tie it on up, 5 points to get past them. And yeah, Vegas is going to be an interesting track. We are going to be able to adapt most of these parts on the chassis. If you didn't see last episode, there was some rules and regulations, but only to the chassis. So we're fine there. We're not going to have any problems. We're going to probably, well, we should be able to adapt every part, and that will allow us, hopefully, to come out the blocks firing next year as a strong midfield side. But we're focused on the last 2 races of this season to try and get P7 in the championship ahead of Haas, and it is looking like it could be possible. We need a good outing here in Vegas and another good outing as well in Abu Dhabi. As we're on our first qualifying lap, it is going to be a 1:32.7 as we get up to the line. P6 for now, but obviously we're going to drop down quite a bit when everybody does their laps, and we're about a 10th quicker than our teammate, but I do think there's a little bit more in that lap. We've got to find at least a 10th and a half to make it out of Q1. You can see that gap between P15 and P16 is about 3 tenths. So we probably have to find, I'd imagine, a couple of tenths to even have a chance at making it out. And we might even need to find more than that. But there is certainly time on the table. I'd say more so in Sector 2. As you can see right now, we're not really up on our time. We're pretty much matching ourselves in that first sector. But we're going to try and brake a little bit later. And about a 10th, finding out in that slow right-hander, and then this long left-hander. And it's a very difficult place to try and brake here. You don't really have any brake point markers. You kind of have to guess it just by constantly doing laps and constantly practicing. You eventually figure out, all right, this is where I roughly am meant to brake. And that's what makes it very difficult about Vegas. It's a low-grip track, and trying to understand where to brake is very difficult. And this corner as well, this left-hander, I find a lot of trouble with, because I don't know how much I can go over the bump, and I don't know exactly where I'm supposed to brake. And we've actually lost about 2 tenths going over that, or going through that corner, and we have to absolutely send it into the final chicane if we want to find ourselves into Q2. Otherwise, we're going to be out in Q1 along with our teammate, who is not improving either. You can see we need to find 6 tenths to Kevin Magnussen in the final corner, which is just not going to happen at all. And we actually lose time because we try and brake as late as possible. So we're not going to improve on our lap. A 32.7. I think we need a 32.3 to make it into Q2. Maybe even better than that, because that's only for P17. So we are out in Q1. We needed to find 6.5 tenths if we were going to make it out of Q1, if we were going to beat the Alfa Romeo of Guan Yu Zhou. So even if we did find a little bit of time at the end, we would have only really beaten Logan Sargent. So a little disappointed, but that is kind of where our car is, and we kind of have to just deal with that.
Welcome along to Las Vegas. Saturday night's all right for driving. Well, it is here tonight as F1 takes over the entire city and the Formula One circus comes to town. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Norris, Gasly, Oscar Piastri, Verstappen, Ocon, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Albon, Stroll, Leclerc, Bottas, Tsunoda, Zhou, Magnussen, Sargent, the rookie, Doohan, De Vries, and Nico Hülkenberg rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
No penalties in Vegas, or at least none that's going to help us out. So hopefully there's a load ready for Abu Dhabi so we can jump up the grid. Because I thought there was going to be quite a few. Maybe we would be starting P15, P14. But nope, we're down in P19. And we're going to try and get a decent launch. So we are going to start on the soft tyres. Try and weave our way through the field. There could be safety cars around here. It is Vegas, a street circuit. And you can see it is a good mix of tyres. Most people on the mediums or the softs. But then the 2 Red Bulls are going onto the hard tyres. So I'll be interested to see if that works. I think Verstappen's still in the championship hunt. We have a really good championship battle going on right now between like 3 or 4 drivers. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye on. But we're going to focus on our race here in Vegas, and we are underway, and it's not a bad start at all, starting on the outside of the grid, but we are going to send it down the inside as we look down the inside of Logan Sargent and also the Alfa Romeo of Guan Yu Zhou. We're getting aggressive here on lap 1. We need to try and find as many positions as possible. If we can make up as many positions in that lap 1, it gives us a much better chance at scoring some points as we get under the traction a little bit better. So we are ahead of Guan Yu Zhou. He's going to look to have a go back at us as we head on down to turn 5. We defend the inside line, and you see Charles Leclerc right up ahead in P14. He is also fighting for the championship, I believe. So he might have taken a penalty, and for him to be this far down in the grid could actually, it could ruin his title chances. He needs a really good result because there's 2 or 3 others in it, and I'm sure at least one of them is going to get a solid result. As look at Valtteri Bottas. He is fighting against Alonso and Perez as they go into the final chicane. And, oh my God, Bottas has come out on top. It's not Perez. It's not Fernando Alonso. It's Valtteri Bottas in the Alfa Romeo that is winning that battle as they go 2 by 2 by 2. There's 6 of them in a 2 by 2 by 2 as they go into turn 1. Can we capitalise? We break late. We're going to try and go around the outside of Lance Stroll. We're trying to get involved as Lance Stroll breaks a little bit, you little prick. Get on out of here. And now we're dropping down, and you've got Yuki Tsunoda all over the back of us, who's looking for a move. He's got ahead, but we're going to use as much ERS as possible in the slipstream. Can we ever go back in the AlphaTauri? There's loads of cars here, and we've crashed. We're out of the Grand Prix. Stroll is out as well. And, I mean, our front wing is broken, but we're still just about in the Grand Prix. I don't know how. That was a massive crash. I don't actually know what exactly happened, but a safety car is out in Vegas, otherwise our race was done. So a safety car is out to save the day. But let's have a look at the replay again. We can see it from this angle. I don't think this shows us too much. No, it just shows us a massive accident and us just sending Stroll into the wall. And by the time we got hit, we were kind of a passenger. If you look at Valtteri Bottas's view, no, Guan Yu Zhou's view, he's on the outside close to the wall. He couldn't do anything about it. So it's certainly not his fault. We made contact with the AlphaTauri. So let's have a look at it again. We're going for that move around the outside. There is enough room there just about. And the AlphaTauri swerves a little bit to the left, which causes the contact between his rear left tyre and our front right tyre. And that is what has caused the crash. So I'm putting more of the blame on the AlphaTauri there. That wasn't really our fault. There was a gap. We went for it. And if the AlphaTauri doesn't swerve across, that doesn't happen and we all get through cleanly. But that is the problem with street tracks. There's so little place to go, especially if you're going to go 3 wide into a corner as we send it down the inside of Nico Hülkenberg. But yeah, if you try and go 3 wide down a straight into a corner, wherever, it's going to cause problems. As Verstappen into the pits right as the safety car comes on in. Same with a couple others. I don't understand that. I mean, there is zero strategy sense in that, so I don't know what they're doing, but we're on the hard tyres, and we're going to try and take these hard tyres to the end. It's 13 laps that we've got to take them. We've got a 13-second gap to Max Verstappen, who's fighting in the championship. You either pit when the safety car's out, or you wait a few more laps and pit after. You don't pit when it comes on in. So a big mistake from Verstappen is we're going to send it down the inside of our teammate. Oh, no! That is tragic. That is a big mistake, and our teammate swoops on back through. We've lost half a front wing, which is not ideal at all, and it's... Oh, that's a problem. We've lost a lot of downforce as Hülkenberg sweeps back around the outside. I guess losing some of the front wing is going to give us a bit of extra straight line speed as we try and go around the outside of Hülkenberg. Get him back. Go on, Jack Doohan making moves as well. He's moved up in a P14. Make that P13. Down the inside of Logan Sargent. Jack Doohan, welcome to the show, fella. So as we lose 2 places, Doohan makes up about 4 or 5 in about 3 corners. So good job to him. But we're the ones that are probably more likely to get a solid result because we don't have to stop again, whereas most of the other people do, as Hülkenberg and De Vries making a bit of contact, and we're going to say thank you very much. Down the inside, those softs should be starting to fall off a little bit now. The mediums should be all right, but the softs around lap 6, lap 7, lap 8, that's when they start to get a bit dodgy, and the hards are going to work a little bit better as we're coming on in to Jack Doohan, Logan Sargent. Jack Doohan to be up in the P13. There was a few cars that pitted early. So it's not net P13 or net P14. It's probably like net P17, P18. But still, he is up there. There has been a couple crashes. Could this be the day where the team gets a solid haul of points because we're capitalizing on mistakes? As you can see, look at this straight line speed on the Las Vegas Strip. Partly because we've lost half a wing, but also the slipstream and the DRS is so powerful. It's such a long straight. And we say thank you very much, up in a P13, and we can really get on with our race. And as people come into the pitch, Sainz, Russell, Gasly, Piastri, we've already had a bunch of people come in the previous lap, such as Hamilton, Ocon, Perez, and we are leading a Grand Prix in a backmarker car. This is the slowest car on the grid, and we are leading the Grand Prix. Yes, we're going to get overtaken. Oh, look at that. I didn't think it would be there, though. Fernando Alonso dives down the inside. What a move that is. Yes, we're going to get overtaken, which we just did, and probably by a bunch of other cars because we are on the oldest tyres. But we've given ourselves a shot at points because if we can try and stay in the DRS of a bunch of these cars, I don't know what we're doing there. We grazed the wall. But if we can stay in the DRS, we're going to use that all the way down the straight. And that will help us avoid getting overtaken from cars behind. And I'm predicting maybe a top 7, top 8, top 9 finish. Anywhere in the points, though, we will take. We are 4 points behind Haas. So if we can finish P8 or higher, that would be huge. And that will put us pretty much level with Haas. If we get P8 any higher, then we're jumping ahead as long as they don't score any points. But back through we go on Fernando Alonso. We are cooking up something today. If we can do that every lap, we're winning the Grand Prix as Alonso and Hamilton going side by side. But yeah, their tyres much fresher and obviously in a much faster car as well. And with a full front wing. They are going to find a way past us. But it's a matter of time. If we can hold them up for as long as possible, it could actually help us. And we could be scoring a very, very good points finish here. So stand by. Something. We're cooking up something here in Vegas. And it's not going to be a race win. But it could be something special as Hamilton zooms on past. We've got Alonso behind. We've got a nice little train behind us. So we just got to time it. Oh, no, we've got round. We've had a moment. And we've spun it into the wall. That's a bottle drop moment if I've ever seen one. We were P2 and we have bottled it. And the safety... No, it's a red flag. A red flag is out. We're P7. We're going to be starting P7 after the red flag. But let's have a look what actually happened there. I mean, look at that train behind us. We have a massive train behind us and down into the... Oh, it's Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso has taken us out. He's braked far too late and just hit our rear wing and spun us around. I was going to say it felt really weird the way I spun around. I didn't think I was the reason I'd spun, but I didn't actually know. And yeah, he's braked far too late. He was never making the braking zone. I don't know what he's done there. He's just taken us out. And yeah, he didn't get a penalty for that either. Absolutely outrageous. That is a stone wall penalty if I've ever seen one. But it hasn't ruined our race too much because we're going to be starting P7 on a fresh set of softs. And it's pretty much a 4-lap sprint out as we're getting ready to get back underway after the red flag. 5 red lights and we are underway once again in Vegas. Starting P7. Let's go for it. Let's get aggressive as we're going to send it down the inside, making it 4 wide into turn 1. Yes, please. Look at that. Up into P4. We're cooking back where we belong. And we're on a fresh set of softs. I mean, I know everybody is probably on a fresh set of softs as well. You see some people on the mediums, so maybe they didn't have a fresh set of softs. But yeah, everybody's on the softs or maybe on mediums. So it's going to be very, very difficult to hold on to this P4 because our car pace is just not there at all. We're surrounded by Mercedes. We're surrounded by Ferraris. We're surrounded by Red Bulls. It's going to be very, very difficult to hold them off, especially down the Las Vegas Strip. And you just see getting in that slipstream, they're going to get a nice little slingshot. I mean, the Ferrari, not so much, but Mr. George Russell down the inside. We're going to go 3 wide into the braking zone. This could be scary. 3 wide. Who's going to brake latest? Is it us or is it them two? They brake both a little bit later and make a bit of contact in the process. And we were playing very cautious there. The last thing we want is to go 3 wide into that chicane and us getting knocked out because we're in a very, very good position. We're not used to being in a position like this as we're following George Russell. We're actually going to have a go down the inside. But once again, Russell braking a little bit later. And we just don't have that confidence under the brakes, especially here in Vegas. There's a lot less grip. You know, it's a low grip track. And I get a bit worried under braking that I'm going to go flying into the cars ahead. But 3 laps to go. P5, Russell creating a bit of a gap up in a P4. We just have to try and stay with any cars that overtake us, because DRS is going to be active this next lap. So if Sainz gets on through, try and stay in his DRS. If Ocon gets on through, try and stay within his DRS. And let's not fall too far back, as Ocon almost makes the move around the outside as well. I mean, look, it's a massive train. We could still finish outside the top 10. We've got to put in some really good laps. The only positive thing here is that Ocon's on the mediums, Piastri is on the mediums, Perez behind is also on the mediums. So maybe we could stay with these cars, but they just have too much pace that we can't deal with. And Perez sweeps on through as well. So with about a lap and a half to go, we've dropped all the way from P4 down to P8. So good thing we sent it on that first lap, because if we didn't, we could be in a heap of trouble right now. You can see Gasly as well in that top left. 5 seconds worth of penalties. So if we drop behind him, not a problem. We'll get that position back. But he's in P10. We don't want to finish P10. We want to still finish at least a P8. Like we mentioned, we need 4 points. If we can finish higher than P8, we're going to jump ahead of Haas in the constructors, unless there's a Haas car sitting in P11 right now, ready to inherit that P10 away from Pierre Gasly. But I don't think there is. I think it's another McLaren behind Pierre Gasly, but it is Oscar Piastri looking for a move, and we're going to look for a move on Sergio Perez before we head on to the final lap. Look at that. That straight line speed is there, and we back up into P7. And what's also nice as well, which I forgot to mention, under that red flag, we were able to fix our front wing, so we've got that downforce back, and we're creating a little bit of a gap to Piastri and Perez behind as they go side by side. Look at that. It's 1.2, 1.3 seconds coming on to the final lap. Surely, if we can stay away from that 1 second gap, we will hold on to that P7, because they will not have DRS down that Las Vegas strip, and we've done exactly that. It's a 1.2 second gap to Oscar Piastri. He will not have DRS, but I tell you who will. Sergio Perez. He's going to use that slingshot to get past Piastri. Is it going to be enough speed to catch up to us? I highly doubt it. But can Perez make the move on the McLaren? Yes, he does, around the outside. That is very easy. And now he's in the slipstream of us. He's going to try and close on in. Can he get close enough to have a run at us into the final corner? Right up to the finish line. It could be a photo finish here. 6 tenths is the gap. We should just have enough, but it's close on in. He's using the slipstream. Sergio Perez up to the line. He's not going to be close enough. It's P7 for BamfordMB Motorsport. What a result. That is an unbelievable result. We did not expect that when we came to Vegas. It was a crazy race. We had a safety car. We had a red flag. And we were involved in both incidents. But I don't think either incident was really my fault, so it is what it is. But Max Verstappen wins the Grand Prix. Fernando Alonso in P2, Russell P3, Hamilton P4, and our teammate picks up a P13, so he didn't do too bad. And as we go further down, Sergio Perez P18. I don't know what's happened there. Did he not use multiple compounds? He got a DNF, so I have no idea what happened there. I think it was a game glitched. But we did see a Haas in P9, which is not good news for us at all. But you have a look at the championship standings. It is so close up there. 6 points separates the top 4 between Hamilton, Verstappen, Leclerc, and George Russell. And in the constructors, yes, Haas did score 2 points. So they're on 13. We are on 13. If you look at the top, Mercedes have ran away with it, and they have secured that constructors championship before the final race of the season. But as you can see here, Hamilton on 222, Verstappen 219, Leclerc 219, Russell 216. That is going to be a spicy championship battle. If you want to see the final episode, make sure you go ahead, leave a like, subscribe so you don't miss it, and comment on which of those 4 drivers you think is going to win the championship, and also if you think we're going to beat Haas in the constructors as well. I will see you guys next time. Peace.